Hiya, it's Jason in Jason's Jungle. So I'm chuffed with the way the polytunnel's going at the minute. It's been relaxing since I got it on, so I can stretch it a bit. And I've just done a bit of stretching, and I've managed to tighten up the cover a bit and get pulled around a bit more. So now I think I'm ready to start putting some of the batons on. This is the door cover for the polytunnel. And you look at the Velcro going down one side of it. That tapes onto the Velcro that's on the main cover. And then down here, you can see that it's formed as a pocket with Velcro on the bottom. So what you do is you take your door off the frame, pull this over the door, pop the Velcro up, and it's got a little sort of like draft excluder built in, and then you put the door back on. That sounds like quite a faff having to do that every time, because that frame, I found the door frame was a bit hard to get on. So what I'm going to do is make an adaptation. Along here, where you got the hinges here and at the top, I'm actually going to cut this off. So cut this open so that I've got the side basically that I can pull over. That means that I don't have to take the door off, and I can. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put netting over the door so I can leave the door ventilated, keep it closed, let pollinators in but keep birds out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first of all, once I've cut this, stitch some of this webbing onto it. And that's going to give it a nice firm hold, because it'll catch, the thread will catch into these little green threads there. I'm also going to stitch these things out. What these are is these are Velcro cable ties, double-sided. As you can see, they stick quite well. To each other at least. The other one's handed that easy. So the idea is that when these are on that strip, this is the hard bit, so the soft bit will be pointing down there, and that will grip onto that. When this is put up against the main cover and the strip there, that will then lock onto this side as well. And if I show you using this double-sided bit down here, the hard bit there, once this is in place, both sides lock onto it, and it gives you a reasonably strong bond. Now this slit's going to be on the inside of the polytunnel, so the wind won't be able to whistle directly into it. And there's going to be quite a few of these tapes going along the length. So I'll get on with cutting that, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's been cut. So now it's been cut open, and you can see when I pull this back, it opens the pocket up. So this can then be pulled over the door without taking the door off, which I think is a better way of doing it. So now I just need to cut 2 strips of this, pin it on, and stitch it. So I'll just cut these first and show you how it looks like pinned on. The webbing's been cut, and I've pinned both the webbing and the Velcro ties onto the door. Now the webbing I'm doing both sides. That gives the stitching something to catch onto. And when I cut it, the ends would fray, so I ran over, because it's nylon, it melts, so I ran over the edge with me lighter. That just melted the bits together, and that's going to stop it from fraying. I'm not going to video the stitching process, because there's a very good chance I'll end up stitching myself into the cover, and you know, the faint-hearted might not like the sight of that blood. Look at that! Hey, virtually no blood. Not too bad. Anyway, it only took us a few hours to get this stitched. Shows you how bad a stitch I am. Look at that stitch, nice and neat. I could join the Seamstress Guild. I'm not showing the rest of it because that's crap. So it's took us a while. The sewing machine, which is actually older than I am, struggled a bit getting through the thicknesses. I had a sand sewn a few of these as well. But the next step is to try this on the door and hope that I haven't messed up one of the doors. So I'll try that once I get down the plot. What I'm going to be doing with this base is pulling this down and attaching these slats onto here, and that should hopefully hold this in once it's screwed in nice and tight. What I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to pre-drill some of these lats, and that means I can get the screws in that I'm using here without splitting them. So I'm just going to first of all pre-drill the slats. Doesn't really matter about them being neat and tidy. In fact, not having them lined up means that the grain's less likely to split. So I'm putting the drill holes every few inches apart. I can always come back and add more screws later on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pop a couple of these screws into the slat ready to drill. But I'm also going to pop some of these washers on. That's just going to spread the weight around a bit. By doing this I don't have to wrestle with the screws and the bit of wood and the cover all at the same time. I should have the screws in there ready to pop. I'm going to be starting off in the middle so that I can pull this tight, and then I can pull down to either side and hopefully get it nice and taut and evened up. These types of covers never really go done tight, So you just try to get them as tight as you can. Okay, so with them, I'm ready to start wrestling with the covers, the drill and the wood all at one time. What I need to do is hold this up there and try and pull this down. So if I pull this down as tight as I can, now this line is where the inner ties are, so I can bring this down to about the level with the board and hold this on and start screwing in. So as I'm doing that, I'm pulling either side of it. To get this slack up. So I'm pulling it not just down, but down and across. So I'm trying to get all the slack towards the end. Where it gets tight on the corners. Okay, pulling this space a bit harder because it's against me right-handedness. Going in. So it's just a case of pulling it and then drilling it in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on with doing this, bring these in, and I'll show you what it's like later on. Okay, I've got slats down the side now. That should hold it on. And what I'll do is I'll put bricks and flags down along the side on top of the cover just to weight that down even more.